xBHP, India's most popular biking community, ties up with Bajaj Dominar, India's most popular sports tourer, to push the boundaries of long-distance touring. This is the xBHP Dominar Great Asian Odyssey. Together with 11 passionate flag bearers of motorcycle touring, they venture across 11 countries, traveling 15,000 kilometers in 90 days. With two riders staying constant throughout, Sandeep Gajjar and Sunil Gupta, and a new rider joining them on each new leg. The first one, Manan Chaturvedi.
A beautiful sunrise and the first few kilometers of the Great Asian Odyssey.
The first stretch of the ride was the butter-smooth Yamuna Expressway.
The bike is quite peppy, more than what I expected.
In no time, the riders were in Agra, where they had a quick stop at the famous monuments.
Well, when you are going to Lucknow from Agra using the express highway, you are actually on the देश का सबसे लंबा Agra-Lucknow Expressway.
Look how beautiful is this. Awesome tarmac, 6 lanes.
On the way, the riders stopped to admire the countryside beauty.
And this is the first time we are getting traffic after around 300 kilometers.
Meandering through the night traffic, the riders headed straight for the meet.
We wanted to tell the entire world the bikes that we are riding, they are made in India. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. So this is day 3 of the Odyssey. We are going to Nepal today.
The plan was to cross into Nepal from the Sonoli border. But what began as a day of excitement soon became a day of unpleasant roads, testing the riders' endurance.
The only way to negotiate this kind of traffic is to go with the flow. You just can't go in a line. Country number 2, Nepal, going to enter the border soon enough.
Making their way through the rush, the riders finally made it to the border in time.
And today we have crossed our first international border, and right now we are in Nepal. So this is the Sonoli border.
Today we have covered approximately 360 kilometers. For now, we are going to take a rest as the bikes are resting just behind us with the tiger.
Journey in Nepal starts now. We entered Nepal last night, and right now I am going to Lumbini.
A 10-kilometer ride got them to Lumbini, the birthplace of Gautama. Enriched with blessings, the riders headed to Kathmandu via Bandipur.
And this bike has got just the right amount of power for me to enjoy this with all this weight.
On this part of the journey, the riders witnessed it all. Narrow roads, under-construction roads, fields, clay, loose gravel, and also metal bridges. Overtaking was advised to be done with caution.
En route to Kathmandu now. All of a sudden, from the highway, you have to take a turn which takes you through these ultra steep turns. The bike, although it's rear heavy, it's performing quite well. It's got a throaty sound with good amount of bass.
As the riders headed towards the Nepalese capital, it was way after sundown. The heavy traffic again delayed the ride.
So this is a jam which could be around 20 kilometers long. None of the cars are moving. This is like a war zone. It beats everything that I've experienced in India.
Nepal was determined to push the riders to their limits. Reaching Kathmandu, the culture-rich city, was a respite for the riders.
So we are finally here in Kathmandu at Patan Darbar Square, and the ride till here was absolutely horrible. Hats off to Bajaj Dominar for taking so much beating without any fuss at all. Coming here makes it all worth, because this place is lovely.
Before leaving from Kathmandu, the riders got an opportunity to meet some old friends.
Today is a very special day. Two Bajaj Dominar Odysseys met for the first time. This is Sarat. Hello. And that's Gaurav. Gaurav has been a long time xBHP. And these are the 5 Dominars parked over here.
Yes. Best of luck, guys.
All the best.
Thanks a lot and take care, man.
After meeting with Biker Brotherhood and a grand see-off, the riders made their way out of the capital towards Nepal's beautiful interiors.
So we are going on top of this little mountain, and apparently the view from there is amazing.
The idea was to head towards Janakpur by night. But the beauty all around made the riders halt on several occasions. Soon they were heading for another night ride. Late into the night, the riders kept munching miles.
All of a sudden, a lot of mist has come in the middle of the mountain roads. The best part is the red lights which you see. It seems like a runway.
Nepal was finally turning out to be the adventure they were hoping for. After an arduous long ride, the riders finally stopped for food and called it a day. With the eagerness to cover up for the loss of time, the next day the riders hurried towards Panitanki, where they would exit Nepal and enter India once again. But they never missed an opportunity to explore the off-beaten paths along the way.
So while we are approaching the India-Nepal border once again, just about 45 kilometers from the border, we have found this beautiful place.
Soon the riders were nearing the border. Their first international country was finally going to be off the list.
This is the bridge which will take us to India. So I think I'm leaving Nepal now. This is the Nepal border and India border.
The border entry back into India was like a cakewalk, home sweet home.
The bikes are loaded with a lot of luggage. Each bike has a luggage of around 100 kgs. The rider's weight, for example, I am almost 100 kg guy. So 200 kgs of luggage. And still with that, the bike has no power loss, I would say.
After spending a day with biker groups in Siliguri, the riders moved towards their next international border, the Kingdom of Bhutan.
So on the day 9th of xBHP Dominar Great Asian Odyssey, today we are going to enter in Bhutan, the land of llamas. We have to travel about 4 hours of distance, which is 140 kilometers.
On the way, the riders encountered an old gem.
So we are going to Bhutan right now. At this point in time, we are standing on the Coronation Bridge. The mountains around, they are so green. Lovely. The river is so lovely here.
Soon the riders were closing to their second international crossing.
Few hundred meters before we're going to enter Bhutan. And I can see Bhutan now. On this side is India. And on the other side is Bhutan.
As soon as the riders entered Phun Choling, they were mesmerized by its beauty.
I've never seen such a bridge before. It looks so beautiful.
Once inside its borders, the riders were welcomed by the world's happiest bikers. After making new friends across borders, the riders whirled the bell for good luck and started their climb.
So today we are going from Phun Choling to Paro in Bhutan, and this road is absolutely beautiful.
Even more enchanting was the place itself.
There is a law that 60% of Bhutan needs to be green. It just got a little bit more greener with the Dominar.
The view from here is just amazing.
The Kingdom of Bhutan is a heaven for tourers. With beautiful hairpin bends, great roads, refreshing climate, and captivating sights.
This is absolutely magnificent right now. Cold wind, a white stupa here, and 3 Dominars.
So peaceful, so calm, so serene. We don't want to go, but we have to go. We have to reach Paro, where Vikas Rajmalla is waiting for us.
The journey reached Paro, where apart from getting their permits, the team met the new rider.
So on the 10th day of the xBHP Dominar Great Asian Odyssey, I welcome you to be the 4th rider of the group.
Thank you.
That is Vikas Rajmalla from Hyderabad, the 4th rider. We are exiting Paro.
With company of the Paro River, the riders headed towards Thimphu, the capital city.
What an amazing set of road. Now the scenery has changed to barren mountains, but the quality of the tarmac remains unchanged. I really am not missing a big adventure tourer. I'm really having fun.
So we have reached Thimphu, the capital city of the happiest country in the world.
After a brief encounter with the city, the riders climbed further. Making their way through the fog, the riders reached their destination.
Oh my god, look at that. I can't believe it. It's looking so surreal. So right now we are at Dhochula and this is how it looks like.
Filled with tranquility, the riders headed back to the capital, where the last riding meet of the country was lined up. Until it was finally time to say goodbye.
How was the experience of riding today in Bhutan?
I absolutely love Bhutan. It is so pleasant, neat. I have the great company of xBHP team. Let's riding with Dominar. In the mountains of Bhutan, there were patches where the road was extremely bad. I almost went into some really bad potholes. Alloy wheels and potholes are not really friends. These things can bend, but it did not happen with any of our 3 motorcycles. So good thing. Well done. They look stylish, but very good alloy wheels. When you're riding slow, the whole cooling system has to work well on its own, and there was no heating problem whatsoever. Cheers. I really liked it.
The last few kilometers of freedom.
They made their way to Bhutan Gate, where they would be entering India once again.
Bye Bhutan.
Once back in India, the riders made their way from Siliguri to Kolkata, greeting riding clubs in every city along the way.
When I got a call from them saying that I'll be riding in Bhutan, I was like, wow, yes! I'm the biker! We the mother! I'm the biker! We the mother! I'm the biker! We the mother! Yes, thank you!
With 3 countries marked off the list, the first leg of the journey was finally complete. With 8 more countries remaining, the adventure had only just begun.